Hello and welcome to Unity 2D game creation using Unity Playground. The first thing we are going to be doing here is actually I'm going to be turning the Unity Playground user interface off, and you can see it's a simplified version over on the side here. But for these tutorials we're going to be turning it off. So just click on Turb Playground off right there, and you can see just compiling down here, and it will just take a minute, and then it will change us to our regular user interface, which is what we'll be using through these tutorial videos. Okay, there it is right there. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to make sure I've clicked on the project tab here, and I'm going to go down into the images folder, and I'm just going to double click that folder. And inside that folder, I'm going to go right down to Spaceships, which is right there. And I'm just going to drag the blue spaceship into my hierarchy right here. And you can see it pops the blue spaceship up. I'm just going to grab the blue spaceship and move it down here. And then I'm just going to grab the corner on the blue spaceship, and I'm just going to shrink it down to about that size. You can see there's a lot of different movement tools. And you should have already gone over these in the previous tutorial at the beginning of this course. Okay, so what we're going to do now is let's take a look down the side here. So you can see we've got our color here. So I'm going to change the color of my spaceship just a little bit to maybe a bit of a, let's go yellowish color. There we go, yellow tinge. And you can see there's my sprite there. I don't need to change anything else. It looks good. So what I like to do is I like to collapse what's on the side here. So just so it's out of the way. Obviously the position, you can rotate, you can change the position here on the X or on the Y, up and down. And the Z, you'll notice if you move the Z it doesn't do anything. But if you go to 3D, if you click on this little tab right here, and I move the Z, it's the depth plane, so it moves it there, but we are only working in 2D, so we're not going to be messing with that. Don't worry about the rotation and the scale. You can see the scale is altered by moving my ship there. Okay, so I like to collapse these items, so I'm just going to click on that little arrow there. Click it once, and that collapses that one, and I'm going to click on that. That collapses the second one. And once I've done that, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to add what's called a Rigidbody 2D to our spaceship. And to do that, we're going to click on this Add Component button right here. And we're going to scroll down, and you can see Physics 2D is right there. We're going to click on that. And you can see if I just grab this scroller and move down a little bit more, there's Rigidbody 2D right there. So there we go. Suddenly I have a Rigidbody 2D for my spaceship. So you can see there's a couple different things going on here. We're going to leave these ones. The mass, you can set that to whatever you want, but I'm going to leave it at 1. Linear drag, I'm going to set that to 2. The angular drag, I'm going to set that to 4. And gravity scale, well, let's leave it at 1 and I'll show you what happens here. So if I click play right now, just to go into my game window, let's check out what happens to my spaceship. There it goes. It has gravity on it, so we do not want that to happen. We want that gravity to be at 0 right now. So if I click play again, I won't click play, but if I was to click play, my spaceship would stay there. Okay, there's no gravity acting on it. There's constraints down here, we don't need to worry about those, and there's just some information right there that we don't need to worry about. Okay, now that our rigid body is done and we have some gravity on our spaceship, we're going to add what's called a Polygon Collider. So let's click on Add Component, down to Physics 2D, and I'm just going to scroll down to this one that says Polygon Collider right here. And you can see pretty instantly, and I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm going to click with 2 fingers to slide. You can see this creates a collider around the spaceship, which allows us to act with collisions and allows it to uh, we will be bumping into things, and we can use scripts to detect collision events. So the Polygon Collider, if you're not happy with it, and this one actually looks really good, you can click on Edit Collider, and you can actually grab points and pull them out and change them. But we do not need to do that. It looks like it's looking pretty good. And don't worry about anything else. So this looks pretty good for now. Okay, just going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm just going to double click on my main camera to get me back to my regular view, and that should be pretty good for our first video. All right, and when we come back, we'll start looking at the asteroids and adding some other components.